Hi, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hope.
And this is the Bookish and Bubbly podcast.
Woo!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bookish and Bubbly podcast. I am your co-host, Brooke.
She's sick.
I'm trying to talk as fast as I can when I have a clear nasal passage. But it's not great. It's not looking great. And so this is the voice you will be hearing for half of this podcast.
It's better than Megan and I coughing half to death, which we've been doing for a month now.
Is it?
So, no. But let me fix this.
I'll
carry the team for tonight.
Wonderful.
However,
yeah.
I'll go ahead and introduce us, but you will have a big part to play because I'm not doing the one thing. But so tonight we're finally talking about Onyx Storm, and we were supposed to have a Megan with us, but unfortunately the stomach bug is alive and well. Megan was not alive and well, but she has. What did Jesus do? Rose again. Whatever word.
Oh,
I was looking
resurrection?
She was resurrected.
Oh.
So she is okay now.
Yes.
Wasn't, but she is good. But unfortunately, she will not be here tonight.
No.
And she didn't finish the book. So, and we don't want to spoil things for her.
Absolutely
so this
not.
is what we had to do.
Yeah.
But we knew everyone is waiting on our thoughts for Onyx Storm.
We did know that.
The third book of the Fourth Wing series. This is big, important. This is important work we had to do. So.
The Lord's work, if you will.
Yeah. Twice. Two Lord references in one night. And that'll be the last.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think we should just get into it because I feel like we're going to have a lot to discuss. Brooke, you do have to do our summary.
Okay. All right. So,
drum roll, please, Brooke.
Obviously, Onyx Storm spoilers. I feel like everyone's making 100% sure that no one is going to be spoiling things on Instagram.
If you don't want to have things spoiled, but you click on a podcast for Onyx Storm,
you're a dumbass.
There you go. Brooke said it, not me.
All right. So here we go. We leave off, Xaden is venom now. So that's where we just left off. Mm-hmm. We start out, we're at Beth Gaiath. We find out there are... Shut up. I'm trying my best. I am fighting for my life with my words.
I can't wait for you to listen to that back.
I said Beth Gaiath. Okay. We're at Beth Gaiath.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out there's venom within the ward still, and so they've been hunting them for a couple weeks, I believe. That's basically what goes on for a while. To be clear, I don't quite know what happened in this book. And I hope that all of you are with me. If you are, by the way, disclaimer, if you're looking for an in-depth analysis of this book, this is not the pod for you. We're talking about our just general thoughts about this.
Also, if you do know kind of what exactly went down, yes, let us know.
Begging.
Drop it in the comments.
Please.
Because we're in the dark here a little bit.
A lot of it. But yeah. Which I am going to say I found some good references.
Yeah.
Is that the word? References?
Sure.
Resources. Yes. Okay. So they're trying to kill all the venom off. Now we also know that they need to fire a ward stone in Orisha. There's a lot of tension between the flyers and the writers, as there has been for hundreds of years, but they're trying to merge them together into one. There's just a lot of political stuff happening, which again, don't know what the fuck is happening.
A lot of new characters.
Good God, Rebecca. Enough. Okay. We'll get into that. Okay. So we know that there will be a squad going out to try to find the 7th breed of dragon, because that was the big reveal at the end of Iron Flame, is that actually Andarna is the 7th breed of dragon.
Yeah.
I forgot you haven't read this yet. Go away and don't listen.
I don't think you said anything that would spoil the book.
He said, I'm not going to remember these random references.
He said, I'm not even reading the book.
So they're going to put together a squad to go find them, and also to try to rally different people from the Isle Kingdoms into their war effort.
Yeah.
Gaining troops and support and stuff.
So they're going on a big, long journey.
Yes. They do make a squad, but it is no one she wants. That goes to shit immediately, and like a bunch of people die.
Yeah.
We do get the villain of the story, Theophany, which is one of the Venom, and she is trying hard to get Violet on her side, and she is convinced she will. And she lets her go a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Knowing.
She's like, I'm gonna get ya.
She's like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah. It's weird. She's like hunting her, but then she's let her go on a couple of occasions. So it was interesting. So we do finally get the quest squad, as Riddick calls it. And Violet picks everybody that goes. And so then it is their quest to go to the Isle Kingdoms. Mm-hmm. There's like 5 different isles that they go to. Mm-hmm. They are, again, going to try to find soldiers, weapons, and then also looking for information about the 7th breed of dragon. And then there's also like little tiny side quests that Violet is going on, trying to figure out all of her dad's research and stuff like that.
And how to heal Xaden.
Yes, that was it. I was like,
there's all really these, there's like 2, it's like dragons and let's heal Xaden.
Yes.
But let's not tell anybody about this plan. So let's just like sneak around and try and figure stuff out.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Luckily, it was not just Violet who knew. It was also Garrick, Bodhi, and Imogen did know for most of the book. I was like, don't keep this to yourself. Like, she was so alone in Iron Flame. So it was good. She had a couple people, but, her squad doesn't know. Mm-hmm. And all the people that were on the quest squad did not know. Yeah. So it was, anyways. A lot of shit goes down on those isles, which we can go into detail later. Yeah. They do find this.
I can't wait to talk about the one.
I don't know which one.
Okay. You just go ahead.
They do find the 7th breed of dragons. They're a bunch of assholes.
They're pacifists.
Yeah, pacifists. And they are like, yeah, screw you. You're the worst. You have corrupted Andarna. Andarna, you're dead to us. Bye. They leave. So that sucks. And also they're like, we don't know. We can't help Xaden.
Yeah.
Basically. So it all feels like it was a waste of time. They did get like 40,000 soldiers, but like that's it. They really didn't get much out of this whole big trip.
Which does still seem like a lot, but apparently not.
I don't think that's a lot.
Yeah.
Up against what we have coming.
Yes.
Also, forgot to say, we did get Professor Xaden, which, thank you, Rebecca.
Yes!
That was before this, but that was amazing, which we can get into again.
Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Okay, and then we find out Violet's second signet is she's a dream walker, which was
not what we thought.
But I do have some ideas about that going forward, which we'll talk about. By the end, the wards do go up again. One of the Irids comes back, which is the 7th breed of dragon, to fire the ward stone, and actually asks Andarna to come with him because he is from her den, like a long lost whatever guy. And they sever the bond from between her and Andarna. That sucked. And Andarna leaves with him. So that was really depressing. And then I wrote final battle. And then there's a final battle. And at the very end, Xaden turns full Venom.
Yes.
What else happens? There's a lot of shit that goes down.
Like the ending?
Well.
Oh, let's not skip.
Well, I mean, we can talk.
It's basically like Xaden is fighting the Sage. And like,
and trying to help Dreyfus.
Yes. And then Violet is fighting
Theophany.
Whatever how you say it. And so there's 2 separate battles that are like really intense going on.
A lot of stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Xaden
ends up what do they call that?
Pulling from the source.
Pulling from the earth. And then Violet kills. Well, how did you say it?
Theophany. That's
okay. I thought it was like Theophany, like
that would work
Stephanie,
too.
But Theophany.
Yeah.
Ends up killing her with a marble dagger
from the Temple of Dune.
Yes.
They call her Dune, but I kept saying Dun. Again, all these words. Because she was actually a high priestess in Dun's temple. So Dune's temple, whatever. And then she wakes up. She's got a ring on her finger. She's married to Xaden, and she doesn't remember the last 12 hours.
Because of Imogen.
And that's how the fucking book ends.
Were you not, like, when you shot it, were you like, what the hell?
Yeah. Except I said, what the fuck? I sent it to you immediately. I said, like, what the fuck was that ending?
Yeah.
That, Also, I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a high that we ended on?
Yeah.
Because why they're married.
The
and her
W
gone.
theory.
Yeah, the
that was
W
not a
theory.
high.
She said that too. She
Yeah.
said that, not. It wasn't a fan theory. I am.
Rebecca,
Explain
I will
yourself.
DM you our phone numbers. Let's chat.
Well, I think we have very different ideas of what a happy ending is. That was not a happy ending.
Clearly. I mean, yes, it was a little bit of a high being like, oh, they're married. Except
had just-
you can't remember anything. He's Venom. Oh, and he's gone. So.
And she can't reach him at all.
No. So I'm not feeling very high.
No.
In fact, I'm feeling low.
I feel like that's.
We're back in the trenches.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That sucked, dude.
First, another part, because this has to do with like because I want to say like overall like our thoughts on it. But one thing you didn't mention, how dare you forget one detail out of this crazy big book. Violet might have like Venom ancestry. They find out.
When?
Are you serious? What? What the shit?
He was right there scaring at me.
Brooke, you knew he was outside.
He was over there.
You didn't
is
hear
wrong with
him?
you?
Could you not hear me?
Yes, you could hear
I heard a
you.
scary noise.
Was it hard to see me?
Yes, I couldn't see you, and then all of a sudden I saw.
I was making noises to get you to look at me, but you couldn't hear me. I did scratching
I
noises.
heard the scratching noises. That's why it was
That was
scary.
wild.
Sorry.
I heard the
I
scratch.
thought it'd make for a funny bit on the podcast.
It did.
I blew the speakers out. I almost shat myself. Jump scare.
Okay.
Good God. Okay. What were you saying? Because I don't know.
Yeah, so Violet,
Wait,
it appears she has some venom in her family line.
Where?
Did you miss this? Did you read the book?
No, I forgot.
So Violet is called Silver One.
Yeah.
Okay. She has silver hair.
Yeah.
You know, I remember all throughout the book, there were like the one aisle they went to, she found the girl that had silver hair.
Yeah.
The Theophany had silver hair.
Yes.
Do you remember the part where Mira and Brennan were talking and they were like, they served her up as a priestess
Yes.
to be like
Dedicated. They only
to the venom.
No. To Dun. To
Yes. And yes.
Dun is not a venom. Dun is just a goddess.
Yes, but yes.
Sorry. I'm not understanding.
Okay, it is a tough concept, but it's in that article I was reading.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm not saying
I'm
you're
trying to
wrong.
figure out how to explain it.
Okay. The big reveal between Mira and Brennan when they were yelling outside when she was like coming out of her depression. Is that what you're talking about? And they were saying, oh my gosh, actually I was dedicated to Dun. And what they kept saying was that her path is unclear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're in the future, her heart, which they wasn't sure if it was her heart, or her lover's heart, basically, was going to turn venom. And they ended up, Zayden was like, that's me. I'm venom. And that's what Mira was like, you didn't tell me?
Yes. And the theory is that her dad possibly turned venom a little bit, and her mom was exposed to it, and that's what happened when she was in the womb. And then that's why there were all these parallels too from all of that combined.
I remember this theory from the last book.
No, it was in this one.
No, it wasn't. Well, it might have been now, but I'm
not
saying,
what you're talking about.
well, what you just said. I remember this theory from the last time. I thought we talked about this. Did we not?
No, this was in this book. Where is it?
I don't know. I remember this. I don't remember anything about Venom other than they were saying, we will not finish the dedication because her path is unclear. Not because...
One moment.
Okay. Can I read some of it?
What are you looking at?
The book?
Onyx Storm?
Yes.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay, so Mira's trying to convince Brennan. Then they went to Paromial to do it. It being the dedication. You will believe me, Brennan, because it happened. It's why she being the grandma, refused to speak to either of them. The priestess started the process, then told Mom and Dad that they only accepted children whose futures are certain, and Violet still had paths to choose from. And then her mind races. She's putting it together. The priestess spoke all cryptically, but basically said if Violet chose her future poorly, she could still earn their mentorship, but she'd turn. Mira continues. Turn what? There's only one turn that comes to mind. Okay, ready? Here it is. This is what I was trying to say earlier. What were the priestess' exact words? She said the heart that beat for you or within you would do the wrong thing for the right reason, reach for unspeakable power, and turn dark. And Brennan says, within her or for her? And Mira said, isn't that the same thing? Violet's at risk of turning, and with power like hers, Xaden says, stop. It's not Violet, it's me. My heart beats for her. I reached for unspeakable power. I turned. I'm the dark wielder she warned your father about, not Violet. Stop treating her like she's the liability. I'm already the problem.
Where were you at?
This is chapter 54. Yeah. The heart that beat for you or within you would do the wrong thing for the right reason.
Hang on.
This just goes to show you that this book was so confusing. We can't even agree on a really major part of this book. And that just, again, tells you how confusing this was, at least for me.
Okay. Anyway, I can't find what I was talking about, but there's a part where it talks about, like, that is what they think happened due to all of that. That is what they think happened with the mom. And because it talked about how, like, something happened when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And so the theory is that she does have venom within her family line somewhere. And that is why her hair is silver at the bottom.
But they say it's because she was dedicated, half dedicated. That's what they say.
Okay. We're going to disagree on this.
Well, I'm saying they said that.
I know. I can't find what I'm talking about. And there was, like, an article. So I'll find the article and send it to you. Anyway, I forget what I was even saying. Overall, I feel like Rebecca Yarros took us on, like, this insane journey.
Yeah.
Like, searching for things that, like, we're not even sure we found the answers to. And then, like, at the end, like, you're like, wait, what? And for me, when I was done, like, I was thinking about that part too, and I was like, okay, everyone knows that, like, we're searching for things. I guess, like, in the moment too, Brennan and Mira didn't know that, like, Xaden was Venom. But, like, they did know they were up against Venom. There were all these other things going on. I'm like, a little transparency throughout everyone would probably be helpful of, like, this is what I'm trying to do. Let's put all of our knowledge together.
Yeah. I mean, the Venom thing I get because it was such a touchy thing. And Brendan did know because he went to him and asked him to mend him. But
correct.
Barely anyone else knew about the Venom stuff unless it was forced. Like Riddick found out and forced her to tell the squad. Miscommunication was abundant. And I understand again because they would just a lot of people would immediately kill Xaden. Like, Mira literally pulled a dagger on him and was, like, going to kill him when he was just
understandably
standing there being chill. But, yes.
If that's who you're up against.
Yeah, but, like, the miscommunication was crazy. Like, people are just not, like, we're in a war. I don't know if you all know, but we're in a war.
Yeah.
We have to communicate.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So, to me, I just found it a little bit hard to, like, keep up with, especially with all the new characters. And she brought back, like, characters that were, like, really small parts in, like, the first book. And then, like, brought them back. And it was just like, what is happening here?
Well, you know what? I'm so grateful that we read it just now. Because I know a lot of people didn't reread.
Yeah.
And everyone was super lost. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if you hadn't reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
Because I was still lost.
Well, yeah, great point. So was I. But I'm saying, like, if we didn't even have that base of knowledge right fresh in our brain. Like, we've read all these in, like, a month.
Yeah.
Thank God, because, like, I would be so much more lost.
Yeah.
And again, we're still, like, we're arguing. We're, like, not arguing, but we're, like, confused about a big, huge event and reveal. We don't even understand what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love these books, but I was like, I really do wish that we had a little bit more clarity.
Yeah. Like, I'm fully bought into the series. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, I felt like Fourth Wing was absolute perfection.
Absolutely.
I felt like Iron Flame was good.
Yes.
But it was, like, way too long.
Yes.
And, like, some stuff could really be cut out.
Yes.
And with this one, I was like, we get to the end and you're like, did we have to go through all of that?
Yeah. Okay, so
The answer is yes. But could we, like, it just felt like such a long journey. All these different places, all of these new confusing things. And then you're like, what?
That's, like, that, the what at the end is just such, that's the best way to describe it. What? Like,
Yeah.
I heard originally this was actually supposed to be a trilogy.
Oh.
And then after the success of the first book, she changed it to 5 books.
Okay. Well.
And then I was just like, okay, love you, Rebecca, but that's super greedy, and I can see that that was not planned out. To me,
Yeah.
I think I still liked this book.
Yeah.
But it feels like, did we cheapen the story? Like, would it have been 3 amazing books? Like, think about a trilogy and every book is as good as Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
I would way rather have that than these, like, Iron Flame. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know the end.
And I feel like throughout it, there were, like, little, like, parts where you're like, yes, yes, yes. And then it would be, like, traveling for, like, so long.
Yes.
And then you're like, yes, yes.
Yes,
like,
exactly. It was a lot. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. And it's still, I'm bought in. So I struggle because, and I saw a girl named Allie, who I follow. She posted her review, and I read it because I was already done with the book. And she said, to me, this book was the definition of mid. And I was like, okay, actually, a little bit. Because while it was really exciting to, like, and I wanted to eat it up right away, going through it, I kept going and I was like, okay, why am I taking forever to read this?
Yes.
And I felt like time just kept going on and on. Like, that book took forever to finish.
Yeah. I was not, like, anxious to pick it up.
Yeah. Like, with Fourth Wing, I couldn't put it down.
Exactly.
Iron Flame, I still really couldn't put it down. This one, I was like, okay, I'll read more later. Like,
1,000%.
until the end. And then you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, wait, what? Give us something. Give us an explanation, you know?
Well, yeah. I heard someone say this and I was like, yes. I left with more questions than I arrived.
And I immediately had to go to Google and be like, please explain the last chapter of Onyx Storm to me. Which I found some great articles that explained it really well. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah. I went on a rampage on Instagram today and I found a bunch of different things. I was like, oh, this was helpful. And I listened to a podcast about it. I think it's I'll read what she's reading. They all loved it, but it was just nice to, like, listen to people talk about it and, like, okay, they were confused too. Almost everyone else is confused.
Yeah. I still think she's brilliant and, like,
me too. But I will say, if you're, you know, the vast majority of your audience is confused.
Yeah.
What does that say about the writing?
And I've not seen anyone be like, that was amazing. Like, only good things to say.
Yeah.
If you have, please let me know, because I, like, want to hear your thoughts. But
it's still rated like a 4.4 on.
What would you rate it?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking 3.
I landed on, like, 3.5 to give it a little bit of an extra. But, like, again, I agree with Allie when she said, like, it was pretty mid.
Yeah. I don't know, because there's been a ton of other books that I rated a 3 that this, I think, would be better.
Yeah.
But it was just the fact that I think this was a big letdown for me. From the high of Iron Flame, ending on a crazy note of him being Venom,
Yeah.
And then we just start out, and I felt like it was not. They were like too casual about the whole thing.
Sleeping in the same bed, and she's like, "You won't touch me." Like,
Well, that,
hurt
but
me.
I just the whole vibe of the campus was like.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of tension, but I just felt like, guys, we're in a war. I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't, like, this huge battle just happened, and then we're just like,
Yeah.
okay, let's, like, make up this squad.
Yeah.
It was too slow of a start, I think, maybe. I don't know.
We didn't get any resolution with Xaden. In fact, it's worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like you said, like, the whole point of this book was to find a cure.
Yeah.
And to find the 7th breed.
Yeah.
They did find the 7th breed, but that was, like, short-lived, but then I guess it did pay off at the end.
Yeah.
But it was very, like, anticlimactic when she did meet them. I'm sorry about my stuffy nose, guys. And, like, there was no progress made on a cure for Xaden.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
No.
I don't know. And then I did wish that we got more information about a lot of the side characters that we've already been invested in, such as Sloane.
Or, don't kill me here, Dane.
Love him now.
Yeah.
She did it.
She did it.
I fucking love
But we
Dane.
didn't get, like, towards the end, I'm like, where'd he go?
Where did he... Where are we? What is happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really glad you said that about Dane, because I was like, Brooke is going to be mad if I say anything
No,
about
I love
Dane.
him now. I think I saw someone
He
say,
proved
like,
himself.
He proved himself. He did not have all the information before. He thought he was working with all the information.
Yeah.
He thought he was doing the right thing. With the information he is given, he will always pick the right thing.
Yeah.
So now he knows it. Now he is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's so true. Like, he is actually such a good guy.
Yeah. Watch her pull a switch and, oh, Lord.
Do not. I heard, though, that she said their endgame. Xaden and Violet are endgame.
She said that?
Apparently.
That's a huge spoiler.
Never have heard that out of her mouth. I heard someone else say that.
Okay.
She said that. So who knows? Maybe should I not put that in?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end, I was like, where did he go? And I had to look back because I was like, he didn't die, right? But I was like,
That would be crazy if
Where
he
did
just
he
like
go?
randomly died.
yeah,
That would surprise me.
not with her.
No. It would surprise me though to like have somebody important die and we just like don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Or like it like, and I saw Dane's body lying. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It wouldn't surprise me if she killed off a main character by any
she said
means.
someone that we love is going to die in the next book. So, which I didn't know this, but it's 2 years away.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have to sit on this for that long.
I will take it if she gets a fucking editor. Get an editor that knows how to edit a book.
Yeah.
There were a lot of moments in this book that I was like, that really did not need to be in there.
Yeah.
And I should have like marked it or something.
Yeah.
I didn't, but there were so many moments that I was like, guys, please just get to the point. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't need to be this long of a book.
No. I
Which makes me
completely
sad.
agree.
There are little Easter eggs she'll put in though, and then it does come back. So maybe that's what that was. But there were a lot of times when just stuff did not need to be in there.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah. One thing that I really loved, what was the aisle that they played the card game in? Where they got the cards and they were like, whatever you get, you have to say thank you to do.
You liked that?
No, okay, specifically the part like where Dane got slapped across the face.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just like the commentary. I was cracking up through that part until what was the dude's name? Traeger. Until he got the arrow. But that was honestly too, that was so quick that it happened that I was like, wait, did they just kill him? Oh, they killed him.
Yeah.
But like just the commentary specifically between like Violet and Xaden and their minds.
Yeah.
I found that part to be hilarious, like especially when Dane got slapped across the face, because at first you think like, oh, it's gonna be just good things, you know, like the one guy got like kissed on the cheek or whatever.
And a kitten, broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli, and then the hand, and he got the shit slapped out of him.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud.
I did too.
And then like the part about like Xaden, how he was like very clearly trying not to like laugh.
Yes.
And you had to say thank you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, Jesus. When it was like arrow and the dude was just dead before he even knew it.
Well, and then his griffin died.
Yeah.
That was fucking
I mean, that was sad.
dude.
Yeah. But like that whole part, I was just like, whoa. But like that is the kind of stuff you expect with her, like just like wild, but like stuff is happening, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. I hated that actually.
Okay, but the part when Dane got smacked,
I
that
liked
was
it
funny.
up until then, and then I was like, they suck. That was the worst aisle they went to.
Yeah.
Because they are like fake happy.
Yeah.
That they're killing
They're like,
somebody.
let's play a game. Say thank you.
My heart broke for Kat.
Yeah.
She finally was moving on. And then also, we find out Traeger has had a thing for Kat for years. And he finally got her, and he was happy. Then he fucking died?
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys?
Rebecca.
That sucked. And then they got, what, 40,000 troops and some weapons? And you're just like, cool.
But your friend died.
And, like, they did ship them in, I think, for that final battle, but it wasn't anything crazy.
No.
I kind of like that. I was like, what? That's how it felt again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but mixed with like a
Great.
little bit of like comedic relief in there. Like
Before
I
that,
always
yes.
loved their
I
banter.
was really sad about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I didn't think it was funny.
Well, I thought it was funny up until that part.
Me
But
too.
like their banter, how they talk, like that's the stuff I live for too. Like those
Yeah.
moments throughout.
Yeah, we could talk about the aisles. I
Yeah.
thought I liked that part other than they did go back and forth a little bit, then they did go back to Bezgaeth in between some of them at least.
They were all over the place.
And I was just like, Kate, I would rather it just be, I don't care. Like, don't have the detail in it that they need to report back. Like, don't do that. That's an extra thing that doesn't need to be in, other than the fact that it's inconvenient and like trying to make their lives harder. Just be at the aisles. Like I felt like the plot was there. What was that? Hold on, I have it written down. This was a reel, which I could show you later, but it was someone that said, I saw this comment, so it's through the grapevine where she said, this is perfectly how it summed it up for me. The plot was there, the idea is fabulous, but the delivery and execution of the idea was horrific.
Ooh.
And I would have to agree. I know horrific is a really strong word, but I do agree because this was a fantastic story.
Like underwhelming or like
Yeah. I just felt like it was so convoluted with all of the details that it threw us off of like what was really happening. And instead of getting like straight to the point, we were dilly-dallying.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. This book was just so hyped up, and then it just kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm so into this world, and
You want to know what happens.
I want to know, but I do feel like we need,
we need a little bit more.
I hope that the next book, I mean, it's going to take her 2 years or whatever. I hope that we deliver. Because she delivered tenfold for Fourth Wing. She did a great job with Iron Flame. If we could even just get an Iron Flame level the rest of the time, that would be fine.
I just worry because I feel like we're getting less and less in quality every time.
Yeah. Like, Fourth Wing, nothing could have been cut out of Fourth Wing.
No.
But in Iron Flame and Onyx Storm,
yeah.
way more, like, edit this book.
I think, honestly, the problem is I think it's risky for there to be such a conflict between the quote-unquote two, like, love interests this much where it seems like...
And this early.
Yes, where it seems like there's nothing that can happen, like, to fix it. There's almost this, like, impending doom with it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a hard concept to take through a series. Like, I expected you find out at the end of Iron Flame that Xaden is Venom, and by the end of this book, that part of the story would have been resolved. And they would have found a way to save him.
And I bet it's going to be like the last book or something.
Yeah. And then they would have went on and they would have found other struggles and everything, or, you know, if she wanted to break them up or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is a hard thing to keep carrying through because it seems so big where you're like, how are you two living together?
Yeah.
How are you having sex?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Like, how does nobody know about this when he is what they are all fighting?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a disconnect there for me because
Yeah.
I feel like this is too big to carry on through the series.
Well, and like now, what is the next book going to be? Him
Gone.
her
Trying to find him.
I have heard the theory that she'll still be able to see his dreams, so that's going to be his way of like getting her information. if he still has kind of part of his soul a little bit. There's so many theories, and I kind of just don't even want to.
But it's almost like
no, I don't. I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah,
that all of these like signets are having to help them find it. That it's like, is this becoming a reach at this point?
It feels like a reach. I genuinely feel like this really should have been a trilogy. I really wish it was. Think about. Yeah, having 3 quality books like Fourth Wing, because it would have been.
Yeah.
Because she is a great writer, and she has a great story.
Yeah.
I hate that she made this 5 books.
Yeah. And somebody like, okay, Sarah J. Maas wrote a lot of war throughout her series.
Yeah.
But she did it well. Because while there were still, it was war, there were other parts in play there too.
Yeah.
And like the struggles between the 2 main love interests were over. Like resolved pretty quickly within the first or like the second book.
Yeah.
And then it was like better. This one, it's like,
yeah.
Okay. We ended on a low. He's Venom. Now he's gone.
Well, I think it just felt like we didn't get anywhere in this book.
No.
We're just in a worse spot.
Maybe even just more confused.
We're in a worse spot and we're confused. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I have so many notes. Okay, we could talk about Professor Zayden. I feel like we should.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about something positive.
Yeah. Professor.
Oh, my God. I literally died. I was like, yes!
And don't even come at us saying you can't be together because we all know that is not going to be the case.
Oh, my gosh. It was so good. I was like, this is how we build tension.
Yes.
I mean, they had some because he's like, I can't touch you. Which, that kept happening. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Got that? Yeah. All right. But that was perfect. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, how about when they were doing the signet training, and then he blacked it all out. Oh, I had some major PQs.
That was a good part of the book.
That was so good, and then the jealousy that he had. I kind of loved him in this book, I will say.
Yeah,
like he was a little unhinged, and
I
liked it. And he was jealous, and also like down bad for her, like so down bad for her.
Yeah,
and like he called her his consort, which I had to look up. Didn't know that meant.
Really?
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
Called her his consort at one of the aisles.
Yeah, like just pretended they were fully married.
Yeah, I loved it.
And he said he was like, girlfriend is not enough for what we are.
Yes, and then he would say like what do you value above all else or whatever? He's like her, then Theodore or something like that. Like it's her. Like, and he answers so fast.
That's hot.
Yeah, it is. That was so good. I was like, yes, here's the tension. Normally I'm like, get together.
Yes.
But this time I was like, just fight it. Oh my God, yes. It was so good. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts was when they were traveling. I forget where they were at, but they were in one of the aisles with the king's son. What is his name?
Holden or Eric?
Holden.
Yeah.
Halden, yes. And so they're out there together, and Holden was like clearly like trying to be like, I had her first, you know. They're like, I knew, and he was like, no. And they're on that trip, and he's like, so like he's like, everyone has to like bunk up, and he's like, yeah, hey, so like I'm not like considered a professor, and he's like, no, and he's like, so like say it like I'm not a professor. And he's like, what? And he's like, so I'm not. And he's like, no, you're not a professor. Like, you're under me. Yeah. I'm in charge here. And he's like, great. And picks Violet up and says, we'll see you after we get some rest. And they did not get some rest. That was a good part.
That was so good. I loved it. Yes.
But just like his wit, where he's like, oh, I'm not a professor, right? Like he is... I feel like Zayden is always one of those characters who's like unmatched, quick-witted, ahead of the game. Like you can't pull anything on him. Just hot as hell.
Oh Lord, is he? Oh my gosh, yeah. And his jealousy with Halden when they were talking the very first time he was introduced. We find out she had literally been dating like the crown prince.
Yeah.
Like okay,
Violet, you left that out.
All right. But that was so good. And then he just like shoves him with his shadows. I just loved it. I literally am in love with him.
Yeah.
He was so jealous and I loved it. Every second. Good God.
How about, who were they with? They were with Mira, who else was it? When they went to get that book.
Yes.
Or the letters.
That's the first aisle. Yes.
Yes. From that lady. And she's like, oh, yes, your true love, Dane.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I laughed so hard.
And Mira could just not handle it.
I thought that was interesting it makes sense. But like,
please let it not be foreshadowing, though.
I know. I hope it's not. That would make me sad because I love Xaden so much. I am starting to really like Dane, but I don't want them to be together. No. That was so good.
And she says throughout, like, one of the parts in the book was she was like, I want to be there for Dane, but I can't be there. How like I would want to. Like, she's clear. Like, Violet is not.
Yeah.
There's no romantic feelings there.
Yeah. So I don't think it could even, like, if it's going to be someone else, it's not going to be Dane.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We'll see. You never know with her.
So they went to that. They found all the books, her dad's books. And that was the same place where they met. I think his name was Cortland, and he's the one with the Panthers.
Yes.
And
is that the same place?
Yeah. I wrote it down because I made sure I had it. Because I was like, I don't remember shit. Yeah. Again, I don't remember shit. Yeah. So that was earlier. That was their little, like, side gig during the day, and then they went there at night, and then he had cut off Halden's person's head and served it up to. That was crazy. I was like, oh shit. Okay, but then shit goes down. You know, Halden's hand gets stabbed into the table. Like, Xaden ends up drawing from the alloy in her conduit.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How does that even happen? But like that, he was like, they tried to hurt you. Mm-hmm. Kills everybody immediately.
Yeah.
And then she is such a badass because she's like, you listen to me right now. You go over there and you sit your ass down. Put your head in your hands. I'm taking care of this, and you will trust me and you're not going to move.
Which is also good because she knew they would be able to see that he was a veteran at that point because of the red in his eye.
But I just loved it because he did listen.
Yeah.
And also, she was such a fucking badass.
They're such a good pair. If they could just figure this out.
I know. And she's like, Andarna, you know, she had Andarna, like, almost kill one of the Panthers. That was so good. I was like, yes, we love blackmail. I love it.
Yes.
That was so good. And I was like, this just shows her, like, cunning. Like, she's smarter than everyone. So did. Was that the next one? The third aisle they go to, he noticed when they find Xaden's mom, which is a whole thing. But, like, she showed everyone how much smarter she was than everybody in the room. At the same time, how did she not know that, like, Eric... Eric clearly knew what the fuck was going on. Yeah. Like, she didn't put that together till the end. That was crazy to me, because I did, and I am dumb. I'm dumber than a box of rocks, and I knew. She's putting together all this crazy stuff, and I was like, these small little things are not going to get by her. Genuinely, I don't think so.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times where stuff went by her head. Oh, it was the fact that she didn't figure out that Theophany was a high priestess till the end.
Yeah.
I was like,
especially when they kept talking about the hair.
Well, the second they got to Dune's Island, when she saw all the people with silver hair and tattoos on their forehead, when it's been said like 3+ times that she had a faded tattoo on her forehead and silver hair, I was like, I don't know, like that. In those moments, I was like, that's bad writing, because she's a genius. Yeah, she is smarter than everybody in every room she's in, but she didn't put that together. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
How about the chocolate cake? Did you? Were you like, do not eat that cake?
No, I didn't think about it.
You did it? I immediately was like, something here is going, like, at each of the aisles, something bad happened.
Well, yes, I didn't think that was going to happen. And then it was insane.
Yeah.
Well,
and it was Garrick.
Oh my God. Yes. I was like, he's dead. I thought for sure he was dead.
Was it Garrick or Bodhi? Garrick. Yeah. And then they're like, tell us. And he's like, no. Like,
and then I thought Riddick was going to die. I was like, don't fucking kill Riddick. I will fucking kill you.
I know.
Rebecca.
And she might. You never know.
Okay, Riddick, I wrote the MVP.
Yeah.
He was the MVP of the book for me. I literally am in love with him.
And he's so good to Violet, too.
He is. And he knew what was best for her. When he found out about Xaden, he was like, no, we're telling the squad.
Yeah.
And are you being safe? What's the line?
Yes.
She hadn't even talked about that herself, which that would be a hard, obviously, conversation to have with yourself.
Yeah, but a true friend would make you have that.
Absolutely. And I just feel like Bodhi, Garrick, and Imogen aren't close enough to her to have that.
Yeah.
So, like...
They will side with Zayden, I feel like. Because they
will,
have
but-
loyalty to him.
Yes. They were trying to, like, protect her by being like, hey, you shouldn't sleep with Zayden. Like, don't sleep in his room.
Yeah. And he sure as hell shut that down.
Yeah. But, yeah, Riddick handled that so well. I just love him. And then I loved his dynamic with his dragon. They're literally pranking each other.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I love this.
There's so many
So
videos
cute
on
and fun.
Instagram too of like Riddick and his dragon. Like
Yes,
they're
yes,
so funny.
I love it. It's just cute and fun. I love it so much.
How about the part? Because this I kind of had a qualm with.
Yeah.
How about when Theophany takes Mira, and that's like when Violet has to confront her. They go whatever, and then they're talking, and she just slits Mira's throat.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, I was like, okay, she's gone. Definitely happening. Most people do not come back from their throat being slit.
Nope.
And then it's like, she's dying, she's dead, she's dead. Oh, wait, he saved her.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit of a stretch.
Me too.
I appreciate the mending and, you know, the healing powers. She seemed dead to me.
Yeah, also, I don't know. I wasn't that upset.
I felt like it helped the storyline there.
Me too.
Though I don't want her to die. Like,
No.
I, like, accepted it. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's back?
Same. Like,
I'm so glad we felt that way.
yeah,
Like,
Liam's death hit
somebody
me
else
harder.
did.
Quinn's death hit me harder
yeah.
than when I thought Mira was a
Sawyer
goner.
losing his leg hit me harder.
Yes. Why is that? I think
Garrick, death by chocolate cake almost, hit me harder.
Dude, I was so panicked, especially because that was in front of Zayden.
Yeah.
And Zayden's already lost Liam.
Yeah. And what a bitch move of his mom. Chocolate cake is Zayden's favorite food.
Yeah, well, she didn't know about the poison, but just the fact that she served him the chocolate cake
Still.
was a bitchy move because that she has this whole secret family. I don't know.
Yeah.
That sucked.
I
That
think
whole
we
thing
could have
sucked.
we almost needed more information.
Yeah.
Of like
Like,
background and
yeah.
because you knew nothing of his mom.
no, well, and then they find out. I mean, she knew this war was coming, and so she left.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I couldn't take you.
Why?
They said he couldn't.
Wouldn't you have tried?
Yes, I would have.
That was my point.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was crazy. And then she has her boys. She has a whole secret. Oh, her whole family. Oh, that was hard. And then you find out she actually knew they were coming. And so she like faked like, Zayden, is that you? And it's like,
give me a break.
You're so fake. I don't know. And then the fact that she's married to Ferris, who clearly is a psychopath.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But that was, oh yeah, that was insane. Just like her getting out of that, and she's like, well, she knew something was gonna go down, so she poisoned them.
Yeah.
What a badass. She's like that. She's so fucking smart.
They're always ahead of the game.
Yeah.
This is why they should be endgame.
Yeah.
Because they are both very similar in that.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you also feel, though, too, like, Violet, because, like, in Fourth Wing, badass, had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Still weak, but badass.
Yes.
Iron Flame, it felt like almost like,
Annoying.
yeah, like a little bit of like a damsel situation.
Yeah, and like victim-y because
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know tell me what's going on, guys.
Yeah. Where in this one, she's like, let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Again. So I appreciated that from her.
I did too. She was a lot more take charge.
Yeah.
I did too. Especially at the end, she was called to leadership.
Yeah.
He said, you pick between Mira or Drathus.
Yeah.
And she says, Mira.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, girl.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Because he called her out. He said,
did.
how you usually handle things, everyone will die.
yeah, that was crazy. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Are we still waiting on Brennan, like either some
Okay.
heroic thing or to find out like he's bad? I feel like I'm still like, Brennan, what's the deal with you?
I was disappointed we didn't learn anything about Nailin because I think everybody believes he's invented. Like
Yeah.
across the board, and we didn't get any information about that because the fact that the whole fandom believes that
and you left it out of the book.
it's not gonna feel like crazy when and if that's revealed.
Yeah. And you do have to listen to your fan base a little bit.
I do think she does, and I don't think she does. I think I'm saying, sorry, I do think she should, but I don't think she does.
Correct.
That's what I meant.
Like, if everyone has been talking about this theory,
Yeah.
at least tease us a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you think about the different point of view chapters? What were your thoughts?
Okay. I liked them, but I didn't like the timing of them.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ooh, cool. I want to hear. But it was like in the moments of like the most extreme parts of the battle.
I'm sure she did it on purpose to make you wait,
and great job on her. Like, that really added a new layer to it. But every time, like, something crazy happened, then it's like, Rhiannon. And I'm like, no, Violet.
Violet,
Back
please.
to Violet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that this means that the next book will be multiple point of views.
Maybe.
Because why? I thought it was strange that we just randomly at the end get I mean, we've
She
already
did that with Xaden, though.
She did, but only like the last chapters of both books, right? Or was he the last? He was an Iron Flame.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about the first
I don't know either, but like that makes sense to me. I don't know why, just because he's the other main character. Mm-hmm. But it was randomly Rhea and Imogen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't throughout the book, it was just at the end.
Yeah.
I thought was strange. And Xaden was oh no. No. Mm-mm. Did he not even have one chapter?
No, I don't think so.
Like that. I thought that we were gonna, that's why. Yes, so in Fourth Wing I think it was just Violet. Iron Flame was all Violet, one chapter of Xaden. So I was like, ooh, are we gonna get dual point of view in the next book? No. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful though that we will get multiple points of view, because I just feel like the side characters, I want to know what's going on with them.
Especially if you're gonna bring them along so much.
Exactly. So we've got Sawyer. He is dealing with a shit ton. Mm-hmm. Like, he is literally Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And he has a thing with Jacinia. He's learning sign language. I want to know about their love story.
That. Yes.
And I want it from first person. I want to see all these fleshed out. I want to see Imogen and Garrett get together. Yeah. I want to see everything. I really do. I want to see all of these people and their...
Yeah, we need someone for Dane.
Okay. Him and Sloane.
I did think that, but I didn't think they would do that.
I think it's going to be a crazy enemies to lovers, because he literally was the reason her brother died. But they clearly, maybe not clearly, but they had something going on.
Yeah.
And like, what did he say? Eyes on me. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. But like, I just felt like the couple of times that we saw them interact, you were like, my radar was like, bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
And it would make an insane enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
An insane one. I would love to read that. I would. I think that'd be interesting.
Me up.
Sign me up. Imogen's chapter then. Oh wait, so back to the chapters. So Rhee's chapter. I am so sorry. That was completely pointless.
I agree.
Other than the fact that we got a different point of view, which I liked. It was completely pointless.
Like, was
to the story.
it just a break? Was it just like a...
Yeah, I was like, why are we reading about war in a different part of the thing? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, this is pointless.
She could have just said, like, Rhiannon's over doing this.
Yeah. I did like, we do see how Riddick was training with the oranges, freezing stuff. And so he literally froze a wyvern. That was amazing. Yeah. But other than that one moment, like, who gives a crap? I don't know. But the Imogen one with Quinn, I cried. I was like, this is so fucking sad. She said, we made it a good one. And you find out, because they're like, this is going to be a short friendship. Let's make it a good one.
I almost feel like in that, like, I would have rather her saved Quinn than Mira.
1,000%. I don't really like Mira very much.
I don't think she's really done. There's been no growth. Same thing with Brennan. They're just there. What are they doing?
They are just there. Mira is like constantly butting heads.
Yeah.
She is very much the mom. She's very much acting like Lilith Sorengale, and we don't like Lilith other than, she made a great sacrifice. Thank you, Lilith. But like, she's not, I don't know, an enjoyable character to read about, and whatever. I'm hoping though she's going to get softer. She's going to probably end up with Drake. The flyer. I feel like that was hinted at in Iron Flame, that like he needs someone that'll whip him in a shaper like
Yeah.
that'll.
She'll definitely try.
Well, they did. They argued the whole time because they were both on the. Were they both on the quest squad? Was Mira on the quest squad? I think she was. And Drake was. So, or right? Yeah. Yes, because he got broccoli. He got broccoli.
Better than the arrow.
Good God, that was so sad. I felt so bad for Kat. Okay, and then also, like, Kat. She was a ton in Iron Flame. She was barely in this book. And then after Traeger died, was, like, not even in the book. Was that because she's depressed? Or was that because Rebecca wrote too many characters and didn't know what to do with all of them?
B.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucked. Okay, like Jack. Jack is
Where's he at?
barely mentioned other than the beginning, getting info. And then I was confused about this, but I think it got explained for me. I was like, why do they want Jack to come? Like, that was like that you need to bring Mira and Jack, I think.
Yeah.
Was that what it was? No.
Didn't they get it
they
wrong?
had Mira. They thought it was Bodhi.
The FNE had Mira, said you have to bring.
Wasn't it 2 people? Am I crazy? Maybe just Violet comes
and you had to bring
Jack.
Yeah.
I think.
But then, like...
she tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? But then I heard someone say, well, because she said he tells too much about his sage. Like, he's a leak, basically, of information. Again, a leak. Who's the fucking leak? Is it Brennan?
The Venom don't like him.
Even
Who's the brother?
Oh, I'm very positive it's Bodhi.
That's what I think, too. But a lot of people think it's Garrick.
A lot of people think it's Garrick, and I keep hearing, like, there's this woman on Instagram. Highly recommend going on her page. It's Emma Hallbrook Reads, and there's a period in between. I'll put it in the caption thing. She has I think today came out with part 11 of Onyx Storm. Like, theories. This woman, like, it's not boring to listen to, and she goes in depth. I think, like I was telling you, I think she's like a photographic memory, but with books. Like, she remembers everything. Maybe she's reading these books 20 times. I don't think that's what's happening. She's just really smart and puts things together really well. But she was like, I'm going to dispel all of the other people that it could be. Yeah. And she gave an example and gave quotes from the passage or from the book of why it could not be this person that is the brother at the end. Okay. She's like, Garrick is the only one I cannot explain, but for these few reasons, and for the reasons that all these reasons I believe it's Bodhi. Yeah. I think it's Bodhi. Like, she can't like quite disprove that it's Garrick, but it's overwhelmingly Bodhi.
To me, I feel like it's obvious that it would be Bodhi, because Zayden's like, you have to stay back and be good because you're the bloodline after me. Like, you have to be there. So to me, they covered that so much that I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
And then I'm sure he didn't force her to marry him, but like the fact that she was married at the end, because someone needs to be the Tirish ruler. So clearly, I mean, I could not be convinced it's Garrick. Yeah. You could not convince me of that.
But you never know.
Especially because of the Imogen and him thing. Like, it wouldn't, I guess to me, it wouldn't make as much sense, but that made me so sad. Mm-hmm. And then you also see, like, this is one of the many examples of why they think that it's him. He's on his hands and knees vomiting, and they think that's when he's channeling from the ground. And
it's honestly such a weird concept to, like, channel power from the earth.
Yeah. This girl, Emma, she also mentions that basically her theory about the whole thing is that, so she mentions like the first 3 brothers or whatever, and there's a rider, a flyer, and one that channels from the ground, and that was part of the Great War, because that guy is the first Venom, and that they take the power, the riders ended up taking the power from the sky and harnessing it to the ground to be like with the dragons, right? And that she thinks like at the very end the power will go back to the sky, right? Like riders, people will not be able to bond to dragons because it does not belong. That is not a power that belongs to them. That's why the Irids hate the Empyrean and the humans, because they're exchanging power that is not theirs to do. So, like Yeah, there's so many reasons she says this, and I would just highly encourage everyone to go on there because she is like so convincing in what she says. I'm like, I trust her with my life. Truly, I would trust her with my life. It's just really interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of these things.
It's just there's so much in them that it's like it's a lot to grasp. Like
It is.
I felt like I got more the second time I reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I could read it probably 10 more times and like not get
especially
everything.
this one. This one had so much. Like Fourth Wing.
It'd be nice for somebody to go through and X out all the things that we don't need to know.
Amen to that.
So we can focus on the things that are like important to the story.
Which is again why we ask Rebecca, get more editors.
Yeah.
Or a better one.
Yeah.
First, yeah.
I did see one thing where she talked about she always has the final scene in her head when she starts the book.
Yeah.
And she knows that she's writing to get up to that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, are you writing this and you feel like you have to have such a long story that you have to add all this extra stuff in there? Or are you trying to be like one of these like Easter egg writers and it's like falling flat a little bit? Like, what is it?
I genuinely think it's she has an amazing story in her mind.
Yeah.
And she extended it herself too far to get 5 books because she wanted more money.
Don't get greedy.
I
Write a
genuinely,
different series.
Yeah, you're clearly an amazing writer.
Do a spin-off.
Also, you're making millions on these. I mean,
you're okay.
She has such a great mind, and I do think she is good at Easter eggs, but you can't extend this story farther than it has legs to run. Like, I genuinely feel like the 4th book is going to be a carbon copy of Onyx Storm, and it's going to be very like, whatever. And then I think the 5th book is going to be like, maybe 50% is going to be not important, and then the last 50 is going to be as good as 4th Wing.
Yeah.
That's what I bet is going to happen.
That's a good point.
How about Eric? I hope to God, I really want him to be the king at the end.
Yeah.
Because we hate
But he
Halden.
kind of disappeared a little bit too throughout the book.
I thought yes, he did. I thought he was going to be, or I think he was disappearing because he was off doing all of these things because we find out he's a precog or whatever, which again, she took way too long to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But some people think that he's not going to be king because he says he will be a bad king and I will be a warrior and will probably die.
Yeah.
Is what he says. So if he had, I think he says that early on in this book. So if he had the power at that time, that makes me sad. Is he gonna die? I don't want him to die. I
don't
him.
feel like we're like invested enough quite yet where she would like kill him off.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Also, Atos, Colonel Atos, he was only in the beginning and then he was gone too.
Yeah.
Like that, I thought he was going to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Barely in the book. I don't know, dude. Okay, these are my questions. Did Violet wield in that fight on Dune's Island? So they were on the Isle of Dune. They had 3 warriors, and it ended up being Dane, Zayden, and Violet had to fight people, and she ended up actually fighting their queen, which she didn't know.
Yeah.
But, like, lightning struck, and everyone was like, did you wield? She's like, no, I didn't. But she did, right? Because she felt heat in her body, and also she could talk to her dragons the whole time. Why could she talk to her dragons?
Yeah.
And no one else
I thought
could?
she did.
Did they say that she did? Because I thought it was never explained, but I could have easily missed that.
I
was
thought
just like,
she did. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, because I was like, why isn't that getting explained to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember her and Mira talking about like she could talk to the dragons.
Yeah. Yes, I remember this.
Yeah,
but
I thought she was like exempt, basically.
Oh, that maybe because she could do that, she could also wield.
Yeah, because honestly, the odds of her winning against the queen, like
0%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was, I guess, the other ones we did talk about already.
Yeah. Let us know if you have an opinion on
absolutely.
that.
Okay, so who do you think is the leak? Because there's a leak, we find out. Well, is it Pancheck? Is it Pancheck? Because at the end he's like, Pancheck is here. Zayden says that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is he? So maybe it was him. Never mind. I forgot that happened.
Yeah, but if it's not, I still have my eyes on Brennan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like something's going to happen with him.
I just think there's not been enough with him. I didn't really get bad vibes from him, but from whenever everyone says that they feel something, and also about his dragon, even though that's the same dragon as Imogen, so it's maybe not always the case.
It could just be the indifference where we're like trying to figure it out, like
it feels weird, like that he should have played a bigger role. I mean, he has been playing a huge role because he's the mender, but I don't know. Yeah, I felt like I want more from Brennan, but I do think he's either the leak inadvertently, maybe, because he is tied to Nailin, or he's purposefully doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Also, I heard this thing, there were, like, dragon eggs taken, and I thought that meant the Venom took them at the end. Yeah. You knew already? Okay. That it went to... They think Garrick took it to Queen. Yeah. That Queen from Dunes. From
that's
Dunes
what they
Island.
Wanted, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Great. Everyone thinks Violet's pregnant. Have you heard this?
I've not seen that at all.
No? Okay, so everyone says this. I didn't think about it. But we had Jess commented on our page, and she was like, I have theories, but I won't say them. And then I messaged her, because I told her I would when I finished. And I said, I want to hear what you think. She said it first. Oh. And then when I was scrolling through today, across the board, everyone says that she's pregnant because they take that conception tonic or whatever, or the potion, but it's magic, and it wouldn't work on the Isles because it's magic. And then she was way more dizzy and nauseous at the end of the book than she has been the whole series. Like, she kept being super dizzy and nauseous. I know. I don't want her to be pregnant because, I mean, eventually, yeah, great, have kids, but, like, I feel like that's gonna be, like, what is it, half venom?
Well, that sure adds to the story.
And I don't know. I don't want her to be pregnant.
That's something to keep in mind.
It is. I've also keep hearing this thing that people think that Andarna severed the bond between Sigale and Tarn, and that's why she can't hear Xaden, because that was whatever happened in these 12 hours. Everyone's like, what happened in these 12 hours? So obviously they got married, but what else happened? Yeah. And that's what they think. That would make me sad, and why would they agree to that?
And also, they said he, changed.
Tarn?
No, Xaden. When he, the final in the battle, when he, channeled. Yeah. He was, fully, at that point, changed.
Yeah, because she's like, what else is there to say, or to
So then are they just going to go through a normal wedding together?
Well, he had a favor from the priestess.
Yeah. So, but I just mean, she's going to be safe there with him?
I guess he kept talking about how there was part of his soul left.
Yeah, but then he also kept talking about how, I'll hurt you eventually, it's only a matter of time.
So he must have been able, not bad enough that he's not going to hurt anybody?
Hey, let's get married really quick and then I'll disappear.
Yeah. Well, this, I don't understand Venom. I think that's what I don't understand. Are they just evil? Or do they not, they don't have emotions. It takes their soul. But he kept saying he has part of his soul left with her, and it will never leave her.
And that, she has his soul.
I'm confused about all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they got married. They're married.
Yeah.
But, yeah, how did that happen? I don't know the logistics of that.
Yeah.
There was something else. Okay. Her dream walking. I was kind of disappointed at first. But then I've heard people talk about it. That's basically where I get all my information. Not from the source material, but from people on Instagram. Because I thought it was going to be way more exciting or, interesting. Because I was like, well,
I feel like that's interesting.
What's interesting? But Rebecca said she'd have to come to terms with her second signet. That is not, what do you have to come to terms with? But people keep saying that they think also that Berwyn, which is his sage, is also a dreamwalker.
Yeah, and they think she's his balance.
Yeah, and that she's going to be able to start communicating with people, so aka Xaden, and also finding out, getting into Sage's dreams. And figuring out what's going on and spying on people and like planting ideas, and then people think she could develop it even more and become just like a mind walker, which is a whole thing.
Well, they talk about that in the book, how she like, was that in the book, how she could possibly do it when they were awake?
Yeah, because they think that that's what the sage is doing.
Yeah.
So she could hone her signet to do it at any time. So then I was like, okay, so this could like really be a big deal. At first I was like, I don't care about that. But it's like she literally just got it.
I guess I don't see how she would have to come to terms with it, but
I don't either.
It's just another one of those questions, I feel like.
Yeah. It's very interesting and very exciting. But yeah, she could like find information out, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's going to be her and Zayden's story next book. It's going to be her in his dreams, maybe.
I still would read it. Like,
oh, absolutely. I'll finish this whole series. I think that could be
a really interesting concept.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where she's going with all of this, but I'm also like, why didn't you just make this 3 books?
And also, why, like, please don't make us wait 2 years.
She is. She said, I'm going to write a contemporary because that's what I do. I'm just like, your contemporary sucked.
Yeah.
Then you should not write contemporary books. Maybe we should read another one, but not me. I'll have to look up if children are down left and right. But no, why don't you focus on like the biggest book series that there has been in a while? I don't know. That's fine. She said, and I'm going to spend the summer with my children because I promised them. Great. Get to writing.
Still write
in September.
Yeah.
Also, what do you mean? You're going to be with them 24/7? No.
Yeah, no.
What are you doing after hours?
Take them to a beach house, let them swim, and you write the book.
It's really not that hard. Or write it at night. Write it for an hour every night.
Yeah.
She just doesn't want to. It's fine. She can do whatever she wants. But I also feel like it's a bit of a cop-out, and I don't know if she realizes like how big of a deal these books are to people.
Yeah.
I feel like that way because of the 3 to 5 books. Going from 3 books to 5 because you wanted more money. And you know what? I only heard I heard people say that. She never said.
No.
They all say she said that it was going to be a trilogy, but after the success of the first book, I'm making it 5. So
I guess that's the only like logical.
Yeah, what else could you be doing with the 2 extra books?
Yeah.
I'm also hopeful maybe we get a release date for the show.
Yeah.
I don't even think they've casted it, so I highly doubt that. But maybe, what if the show comes out before the book does? 2 years? It could.
It definitely could.
It could if they get their...
Or they'll line it up.
Get it going. Yeah, they might line it up.
That might be her plan. She'll be bringing in the big bucks.
Well, exactly. Just like... I don't know. I do wish it would have been a trilogy. Because I do think this is a kick-ass story. And it would have been even better if we didn't have all this filler.
Yeah. And it could be like with ACOTAR. We have our favorites and then we have some books that we could take or leave. So this could just be the take or leave in the series.
It could be. You're right.
You know?
Yeah.
We can't count it out yet.
You're right.
But we do have to sit on all this for a couple years now.
I know. I just thought of that. I'm like, I feel like, what am I supposed to do?
And then we're going to have to reread all of these books again when the next one comes out.
Which I said, I told you I want to reread it soon. I don't actually. I'm going to wait until we at least get a release date.
Yeah.
And then I'll I'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited though to reread Fourth Wing when the time comes because that book was so fucking good.
Yeah, I agree.
This is still such a good story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I feel like this is pretty negative, but
it has a spot on our bookshelf.
Yeah. But it absolutely does.
I don't think it's negative. I think it's constructive criticism.
Yeah. Not that she's listening to this.
But honestly too, like, drop all your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, I want to know theories.
Yeah.
And like just what you thought. Like if you're like, guys, you hated this book and I absolutely loved it. I want to hear that too. Because there are people who did really love it.
Yeah. We just want to hear like all your thoughts on it and to talk about it. Please talk about it with me because I feel like I'm going to have the biggest book hangover ever. Yeah. I also though am excited. Like I was glad when I finished it because I was like, okay, now I can read some of the other stuff I've been waiting and I've been like stuck in like the Fourth Wing fantasy books. So, and that took up like a month.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm like, okay, now I'm excited to like finish a couple.
Yeah.
You know, do a
you
couple
have-
like personal reads. That
Do
I
you
wanna
have
read.
some in mind that you want to read soon?
I had started not like the movies, so I'm like, is that what it's called? Not
Better than the movies?
better novel. Not like a novel.
Oh,
I didn't say that right.
yes. Sorry.
Um,
I saw that you had started that.
not even close. A novel love story.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have time to finish that. I really want to read Quicksilver, which is fantasy, but I
Yes.
just really want to read it.
So good.
And then, yeah, we'll see what else.
Yeah. I started Binding 13 Hope.
Yes! Don't give me any negative comments.
The only negative thing I have, two negatives. Not anything to do with the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
The book is a 26-hour audiobook in total.
I don't see a problem with that.
I do as a romance. We'll see. Maybe everything will be necessary. But I have a hard time with that already. Just
It's
knowing
a long
that.
story.
Yeah. I understand when, like, a fantasy is a long story. I've never read, I don't think, like, an Icebreaker, I think, is a longer romance than normal. And I feel like everyone's like, that was so long. I know you loved this, and I'm excited for this ride. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's daunting. A 26-hour audiobook?
Yeah, I can't see the problem.
Okay, great. And then the narrators, I wondered why this became available so quickly, because these are so popular. At least the ones I got, they are clearly Irish, or wherever they're from. Where are they from?
Yeah, it's an Irish story.
Yeah, they're Irish. And the girl I can understand very well. The guy, he started speaking, and I said, huh? I'm going to play you
Yeah, I don't
part
know
of
if I
it
would
in a
listen
second.
to it.
I don't have the capacity to read that long of a book. I will not ever finish it. I really don't think I will.
Okay.
I do plan on downloading it on the Kindle to read and listen and jumping back and forth
Yeah. Okay.
so that I can read it all the time. But
Yeah.
I just know myself, and if it at all ever slows down, I will not go back to something that I know I have like 800 pages left of or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that you probably don't understand that because you are the fastest reader. I'm just not, and I'm like, I can't. Yeah. So, but I know I'm going to love this story. I have to play you part of him talking.
yeah, I
It's
wanna
very
hear it.
funny. Yeah. I'm excited for that. And then I really want to read The One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns.
Okay.
I am so excited. And it's apparently just a duology. I want more fantasies that are just one book. Is that a
Yeah.
thing? Is that even a thing?
I don't know.
I'd love to do that.
We'll have to look.
Yeah. Or like duology or trilogy. Like I could handle
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I know I feel like there are actually a lot like that. But
Probably.
these series that are like super long, like Throne of Glass, dude,
Too long.
too long. It was. I loved it, but it was too long. Took me a year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get some quicker reads in. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
'cause
think
last
that's
year
what
was,
I am too.
Yeah, last year was slow, and then after this, I loved this so much, and thank God it only took me a month.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to like get some stuff going. I'm excited.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
This was great. I'm excited, and we have some fun episodes we have ideas for coming up soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. We're not telling you a thing. As always, please subscribe. Do all the things. Like it, comment.
Follow our Instagram.
Yeah. We're on there sometimes.
Yeah. We're trying.
We're trying. And we love you, and thank you for listening.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.